Hello and thanks for joining me in another shave. Today is the third episode of my 14 shootout. The razor for today is a Böker 14er. This is a full 8/8, full hollow ground razor, and this has a Coticule edge on it. The stone used was a Petite Blanche. I'll have a link to the honing video in the description of this video. So I have used, in the previous two episodes, I used an edge on a 14 style razor that I had not used before. First episode is an Olympus edge, second episode is an Escher edge. I've used those on other those stones on other types of razors, but not on a 14. However, with this one, I have used a Coticule with actually this razor. So this was kind of a refresh. The edge came out really well. I'll show you a microscope video of the edge right after honing now. And then I'll show you the edge after stropping. I stropped roughly 40 strokes on linen and then another 80 on leather. So here's how it looked like after all that stropping. And so let's get going. The soap of the day is Saponificio Varesino Cubebe. This is part of the 14 shootout. I'm using Saponificio Varesino soaps for each shave in the shootout. So I can talk and shave, so let me get going. Brush for today is a Wald synthetic. I'll show you the brush after it's cleaned up. This is a new style from Yannick. He calls this the flare. And again, I'll show you the flare is the handle style. I'll show it to you after it's all cleaned up, but you'll be able to see it a little bit as I use it. Cubebe is a spice grown in Indonesia. Or rather it's a pepper grown in Indonesia. That's pretty much everything I remember about it. I looked it up when I bought this soap, which was several years ago. I love how Saponificio Varesino finds interesting things to feature in each of their soaps. This soap has wonderful top notes of bergamot and lemon, and as always, I'll list the fragrance notes next to me here during the video. Saponificio Varesino. I think all of the soaps that I have currently are their latest soap base, which is a triple milled vegetal soap base, which I quite like. I could easily use this every day. Super slick, easy to lather. Here's the ball brush, but you can't see much of it. So yes, I looked up Cubebe when I first got the soap in English. I think we pronounce the plant as Cubebe, but I think the European Romance languages, French, Spanish, Italian, I think they add the E on the end. And I believe they pronounce it Cubebe, but again, I'm remembering naturally I have not prepared for this video, so I'm winging it. Here are the beneficiary of old man memory. So I don't remember much. The plant, as I recall, is interesting, and they talk about it on the Saponificio Varesino site. And of course, there's a I'm sure there's a Wikipedia site on it. I suspect that's where I learned about it. So, how does it feel? This one feels like a Coticule edge. The testing on this edge was excellent. It's extremely keen, especially for a Coticule. I'll never get that right. It seems, but I can work on it. I can learn. So it feels like, to me, one of my better in terms of keener. Edges, and I said when I was honing this that I feel as if I get my keenest edges off of this Petite Blanche stone. So I'm going to do a Coticule shootout. And we'll find out more information there as I compare the different edges from the different stones on similar razors. The razors for that challenge will be H.M. Christensen and Geneva Cutlery. Okay, let's see how we did. Yeah, very good. Very good first pass. Coticules are comfortable in a different way than something like a JNAT or actually any of the other stones that I've used in this series. There's a different feel to the edge. I always say that I think it's a feeling that gives you a sense of safety with the edge. Contrast to that would be what I consider to be crispness that comes from a Arkansas edge. Crispness is also a feature of a synthetic edge, and to some degree a the Olympus edge, but the Olympus comfort level is different. And I don't have a way to describe that yet. I've said it feels like a slate or a shale stone, so it has a feeling of precision that feels a little bit more, even though it doesn't test any sharper than this edge tested, they feel different in terms of their keenness. The outline of a Coticule edge is always a little toothy, and compared with the other stones I've used so far, and that does not get in the way of cutting, nor does it get in the way of comfort. I think it gives the Coticule edge its unique characteristic. I will also put up, this is the third, as I said, in the series. I'll put up the list of razors and the planned edges for each razor, or the planned edge for each razor. So you'll see what's to come. I'm doing the Freador 14 next. That has a, that will get a synthetic edge. But I'll be using a new to me finishing stone. I normally finish my synthetics on the 12K Shapton, 12K Nanoa Superstone. And hang on. I just received a G7, a Shapton glass 7-inch stone. It's 0.85 micron. And would be somewhere around 20K on the Shapton scale. The 16K is 0.9 micron. So 0.85 is obviously smaller, so I would bump that to, and the 30K is about a half a micron. So I would say that 0.85 on their scale is probably somewhere in the 20K range. All right, there's not much left. Feel around for this shave was great. This is a very, very nice Coticule edge. And again, I think that the Coticule is very well suited to a super hollow ground, extra hollow ground blade that has a very low bevel angle like these 14s do. Because not only is this comfortable, it is ultra close. And that can be a bit of a knock on a Coticule edge, is that they, you know, people joke, we joke in particular about Coticule having an 8K edge. I guarantee you that the keenness on this edge is much higher than 8K. But it's the Coticule is very well matched to this geometry. This is a really comfortable, really close edge. Sorry, not talking here. Good place to cut yourself. And as a daily shaver, when you cut yourself, you tend to be living with that for several days. All right. I have residual slickness for days here. Nice. Super nice shave. Really close. I don't get closer than that. That's a ultra close shave from a Coticule. Again, I think cutting performance is 99% geometry. If the stone will let you optimize the geometry, you're going to get a very, very close shave, assuming you have the technique for it. All right, I'm going to put on some Thayers cucumber and then clean up so that I get this carbon steel blade cleaned up, dried up, and out of this humid bathroom. Wow. Wonderful stuff. Okay, I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Everything's all cleaned up. As promised, here is the Wald brush. He calls this the flare handle. So there's that brush. Picked to color coordinate with the razor and with the fragrance, which I'll be using in just a second. But first, we're going to be using the Cubebe Aftershave. Hopefully you will have looked up Cubebe and found out everything there is to know about it. As I said, in my usual preparation for these shaves, I've done none of that. I'm just giving you my recall. Get just a tiny bit of the spice from the Cubebe, which is as pepper. Wow, great shave. Yeah, I'm sacrificing for my art here, using a series of wonderful razors that follow the Böker 14 specification. Yeah, it's tough. Someone's got to do it. Okay, the final fragrance that I'm using today is Roman Spice from Spearhead. It's a Seaforth Roman Spice from Spearhead Shaving. This has similar citrus top notes, but does not share much else with Cubebe. Nonetheless, I don't have the Cubebe fragrance, and this does manage to go well with it. The talc of the day is Yardley Classic. That's the perfect finish to an excellent, excellent shave. So far, no losers. I'm planning to follow this arc edge, this Coticule edge with an arc, but I'll tell you, it really just doesn't need it. This is unbelievably close, super BBS, and very, very comfortable. Nothing more that I would want. Okay, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.